Good evening, everyone. This is Dana Leggett, and welcome to my podcast, Talk About Everything, All About Nothing. This evening, it's going to be us a good talk, and I got my guest, which is he's been on here a couple of times. He's my best friend. He's my husband. He's my eight-spoon coon. We dial like full flat tires. I'm introducing
Marcus Leggett.
Hey, Marcus.
Hey.
How you doing? What is that?
You said hey.
That's your version of saying hey to me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's how we do?
Yeah.
It is not. Don't start this.
You said hey.
We're gonna talk about a whole host of things, but this evening our conversation is about living and growing up in Mullins as Marcus Leggett. Let me ask you something, Marcus. First, tell me about your family. What is your immediate family? Besides your mom, I knew your mom, Miss Day Althea Leggett, before she passed away, but tell me about your siblings.
Miss Jason name is Jason Will Leggett. India is India Yolanda Leggett. And Shalonda is Shalonda Shantae Leggett.
You know they're going to jump with you about throwing these middle names. They ain't asked you to do all that.
I remember them.
How was your childhood, Marcus?
My childhood was good, but went through a lot of struggles coming up, being the oldest.
You went through a lot of struggles coming up being the oldest there. That's because we grew up in the South, in Mullins, in your case, late 80s. You was taking care of your siblings. At least you and Jason was there, and your mom and your grandma. Do you know how old you was when your grandma passed away? Ain't she the one you said started out raising you?
I was 8 years old.
When she passed?
In 1984, when my mom was pregnant with India.
You can remember these dates when nobody else can.
I'll tell you, I remember stuff they don't.
Well, that's true. That's because you were here.
Yeah.
You were here. They were babies, and
they weren't even here yet.
Yeah, India and Shalana wasn't here, but Jason was.
Yeah, but Jason was small.
Yeah. So how was your childhood just coming up? Because I know when you were young, we both was in the same church. We just didn't remember. I remember you just a little bit, but you remember me from high school.
I remember when we stayed on 76 in the house that you said your grandma owned. I remember Mr. Bubba used to stay down the dirt road, which was the road directly across from in front of the house off of 76.
I know how you're talking about. Yeah, my grandma and my granddad used to live there.
All the way at the end. Yeah, Mr. Bubba used to stay at the house all the way at the end of that road.
Sure did.
And I remember that house. I remember I was 5 years old. We stayed there. And I don't know. I don't think Jason was born yet. I don't think so.
We wasn't there then because y'all was already living. I thought we was already in the trust. And if you were 5, that mean I was either 9 or 10 years old, something like that.
But yeah, I remember when we lived there, and I had a white and black dog named Spot.
Did you name him Spot?
I don't know. It's been so long ago. And
question: when you lived there, Miss Francis used to pick you up there?
No.
She didn't.
I didn't know them.
You didn't know them now? Okay.
No. I didn't know them. I didn't know them until we moved on Wine Street.
Okay.
Because then at that time I don't think I knew anything about the Church of Christ.
Okay.
But we stayed there, and I never forget one time. I remember when we go down to Mr. Bubbas House and stuff. Mr. Bubba, I think he liked my grandma or something. I don't know. I was young. I was just a energetic child at that time. So he used to come to the house, sit with us and stuff like that, and I had fun being around older people and being around my grandma. My mom, she was working at Sopaco at the time, and I was mostly around my grandma most of the time, Miss Fanny Dukes. And I'll never forget one time we lived there. My grandma had a shotgun, and she used to always keep it in the corner of the house. And one day, for some reason, I couldn't tell you why or anything, but for some reason, I pulled that trigger.
I don't know know why, but we was dumb as kids.
And it shot up. I think I ran. It scared me. I ran and went and laid down. I'll never forget. I was on a Saturday. And I went and laid down. I don't remember the rest of the story, but I know it scared me. That's the first time I ever heard a gunshot. And it shot. I don't know if it shot through the roof. I didn't even look up. I just went and jumped across the bed.
Like what that was gonna do?
I don't know. I was just scared. I didn't know what was going on. I just know it shot at the top of the house.
Let me ask you a question. What did your grandmother do for a living?
That time I didn't know.
You didn't know? How did you find out? Because did I tell you, or you found out like later on down the road?
Because I don't know if it went down there. I don't know if she was in business at that place because I don't know. I was 5 years old, but I never forget one time. I remember when we all packed up, and I think it was Mr. John or somebody came and got us. We was all packed up in his car.
I thought you were talking about Mr. Cannonball.
And we was moving. No. I ain't talking about no taxis now. No. And we was moving. I'm thinking we finna move in town, so I wasn't familiar with in town of Mullins because we was on the outskirts out there of 76.
Yeah.
So
in the country.
Yeah, definitely in the country. So and I remember it was Sky City down there. I remember Ingalls.
Raleigh. It was Raleigh. It was in the middle.
I don't remember Raleigh.
You do?
Oh yeah. It was in the middle.
It sure was, because that's Raleigh.
I ain't never went in Raleigh though.
They had the comic books. You never went in there?
I went in Raleigh when it was the store where movie gallery was.
Oh, when they moved.
Yeah, that's when I went in movie gallery.
I'm at Raleigh.
But Raleigh. And we moved down to Wine Street Apartments at that time, and I'm thinking, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking, as far as my memory goes, that's when my mom met my brother's father, Kenneth Clark, and Jason came about when we stayed on Wine Street.
Tell the people who grew up thinking the small town, we could make it even smaller of a small town. Tell people about the Wine Street Apartments.
Wine Street Apartments, there was 10 of them. Miss Mary Lee, she was the overseer, something like the manager over the apartment. She stayed in number 10. I think Walt Lee stayed in number 10.
Yep.
I think she stayed in like number 7 or number something like that. But she stayed there. She was old. She had to be in her 70s at that time. And I forgot the white lady name that actually owned the apartments. But
I thought George Poole owned them.
I don't know, but I know it used to be a lady to come see Miss Mary Lee, a white lady. But it was 10 apartments, and all of them was 1 bedrooms.
1 bedroom.
They had the living room, the middle room, and a bathroom with just a toilet and a sink. With no hot water. No hot water.
No.
You better have some way of. You had a heater. We didn't have no stove. We heated up water on the heater. Did a lot of cooking on the heater until we got a stove. And I don't even know if we ever used a stove. I knew my mom had a lot of pots on that heater. And Mr. Herbert Lee used to cut. He used to have this funny looking truck in the back, and it was I think it was a Volkswagen truck. But anyway, he used to always come back there and have like loads of wood, and he'll dump it. Then he'll start cutting it with his chainsaw. I couldn't stand a chainsaw. It used to hurt my brother's ears, and I just didn't like it. It looked dangerous to me, so I never liked the chainsaw. But okay, my grandma stayed in the first one, and later on, at first it was me. It was my grandma, me, and my mama. And Jason came along. Then later on, Miss Liza Warren, stayed with us, And Johnny and Tina was with her. Johnny Warren and Tina Warren. Me and Johnny was the same age, and Tina was younger than us.
And all this was in a 1-bedroom.
All this is in a 1-bedroom apartment. I think my grandma and them slept in the front. She slept in the front, and the rest of us slept in the middle room.
Yeah, cause back then
I don't know if they slept in the kitchen or what. I don't know, but back then
you made do.
Time was very
hard.
Yeah, hard and closed in.
Yeah. And it always amazed me how I see people this day and time, especially young people who, even if they ain't got the latest shoes or the latest name brand toys or the latest name brand watches and jewelry and clothes, I was like, the way we came from, just to have something of your own is amazing to us.
Yeah. And
then to have birth your kids. And just something as simple as they got their own car when they graduate, coming up as us. Because when I graduated, it was kids who got cars. I just wasn't one of them.
Well, I never, coming up, on my side of Mullins, we didn't have no car. We didn't have no car until, when I went to Georgia and had my job, I purchased my roommate helped me purchase my first vehicle. He was working at a taxi stand. And my first vehicle was a white and burgundy Chrysler 4-door. I didn't know nothing about a car but put gas in it. I didn't know about no oil or nothing. Nobody took time to teach me.
And that's another thing. Growing up like we had no one to teach us simple stuff like taking care of a car or saving our money or even investing our money.
Especially saving your money or you investing in a job or nothing like that. We never had the infirmities of people like that actually knew about that stuff. They didn't come around us.
No, because we was on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah, because I can actually say that our family, well, we're Marines, but we're also connected to the Troys. I never met them until years later. I didn't know anything about them. I knew about Troy's funeral home, but that's it. I never knew that they was,
close
his
related.
wife or anybody like that was related to us because they didn't, like I said, they didn't come around our neighborhood. I know staying on Wine Street, we probably, I have a lot of memories from Wine Street apartments. Because like I said, we were staying in the first one. Then my mama was still working at Sopaco. And when I stayed at my grandma's, she was bootlegging. And I didn't know what it was. And she used to keep her liquor in a white bleach jug with no label on it. It was a big bleach jug at that.
The kind they don't make no more?
The kind you don't hardly see no more. unless you get the big one out of Sam's. That's the only way. So I think it was sitting somewhere warm near the heater or something. And my curious mind, go over there and throw it back. Try to smell what's in it and throw it back. I don't know what I was thinking. It was some water or what. But I threw it back. And I never forget my mama came from work that night. As soon as she opened the door, I fell in her arms. She said I slept all that day. So she asked my grandma what was wrong with her. She said he got him a liquor. I remember somebody used to bring, or either dad or my grandma used to go to the some store when they used to go to town, and she'd come back with boxes of Smirnoff. The little liquor in a little plastic bottle with the bird on the front of it. That's what I remember. I remember the Smirnoff. I remember Loris Cavert.
Oh, God.
Yes, both of them. And for some reason, people loved them because they stayed at my grandmama's house buying them.
My uncle mentioned that was what he used to drink. He used to drink that.
Lord, they're the only two liquors I thought was in this world. Smirnoff and Lloyd Cavert. So I remember Miss Lizzie May. I remember Flossie. Flossie and BJ, which they ended up staying on, I think it was Cooper Street years ago. They used to come by the house. Matter of fact, BJ and Flossie, I think they had an apartment